So for our next session on local journalism startups and stations, let me welcome back to the podium Mr. Vince Staley from the Media Impact Funders.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Take it away.
There's a broader definition of public media that important organizations like the Center for Public Integrity and ProPublica and many of the online news organizations that are beginning to sprout up all over the country, in Denver and other places, are also enlarging our sense of what is public media. And so we're thinking about public media in that broader definition and looking for innovation and change in both of those ways.
About 3-4 years ago, we set out to fill what we saw was a real growing need in New York and New Jersey, which was to have more local news and to have, as others were leaving. We looked at the places like the Bergen Record, the Star Ledger in New Jersey that were laying off lots of reporters, even the New York Times, which was, as it was growing, its national and international focus was decreasing its commitment to local news. And so we set out to say, what can we do about this? And we wanted to see how we could build our news effort so we could fill that need and reach more diverse listeners in our listening area. We knew we wanted to focus on enterprise reporting, narrative story, and around beats, and also around New Jersey. We saw that need in particular in New Jersey. And we knew we wanted to, at the same time as we were building this, change kind of the way we were approaching news gathering, so that instead of it being kind of radio stories and then digital kind of mirrors of those radio stories, we were really integrating our radio and digital reporting and adding some other elements, including data news and crowdsourcing.
When the Rocky closed, there was a great need in Colorado to try to figure out how are we going to keep doing those stories that are complex and need data analysis, and other newsrooms, even though they still exist, were half the size they've been and couldn't do those stories anymore. So I created something called iNews. It was one of these online only. It started out with doing that kind of reporting, but what was different was, instead of trying to attract people to that website, we were pushing content out through other news organizations. So we worked with Rocky Mountain PBS and every daily newspaper and public radio and some ethnic and emerging media throughout Colorado. And we really started having impact. So we're here at the Impact Funders. We want to talk a little bit about impact. I'm going to give you some examples of the impact. But what makes this interesting and relevant to the public media discussion was that last year, Rocky Mountain Public Broadcasting CEO Doug Price came to me and said, look, we've seen the impact that this public service journalism has had. We think public media should be doing public service journalism. Let's merge. And so we did. And it's been a wonderful year, a little more than a year now, of seeing how you take the trust and respect of a public media outlet and combine that with the impact of investigative reporting. And it's been quite exciting for us.
So Clark, tell us, the perspective of a media grant maker. What should we learn from this, and what are some of your examples of your work?
So I guess my last thing I'd like to talk about is the things that funders, that at least at McCormick, we want to know, and many of those who are traditional journalism funders. Number one issue, and came up time and time yesterday, is sustainability. That's easy for you to say. Sustainability of the project. That's, often that's the end, but really shouldn't that be the beginning of the dialogue? Two, it's the impact. So we've got the sustainability and the impact. Third is measuring. Fourth is the professionalism involved. We've had some collaborations where people think outside the box. The problem is they don't realize there is a box. I think the learning is important for all the partners to be sharing information all along the way. And then finally, engagement with the audience and the community. So you add that up, and it's simple, just like Bill Clinton used to say. It's about the economy. Just keep it simple. So I think going forward that McCormick and other foundations are going to be taking a much more aggressive stand on evaluation strategy. Most of you are funders in the room. I'm not going to give you the lectures about collective impact because you probably know more about it than I do. But we're looking at grantees, clusters, and initiatives and trying to build insight into our collective wisdom and the collective impact on the field. So I think that in the end, we're looking for innovation, righteously important interventions. We want interpretation so that there's corrections in midstream, and finally impact. And I hope you'll join us on this journey.